let me tell you, she gla on my sis. Hey everybody, welcome. Why did I say that? Today and only today, we are here to talk about Sonic Adventure. We're here to talk about the adventure games, the potential for what's to come, and stuff like that. And because of all the conversations that's been going on with Izuka and everything, I feel like this is a perfect time to sort of get into this very, I feel like, important discussion, something I've wanted to get into for a hot minute. But of course, guys, if you enjoy these videos, let me know, subscribe to your boy. Get this, why is there hair in my eye, bro? I'm gonna die. Anyways, subscribe to your boy, support the content. Thank you for all the love on the recent videos, and I'm gonna try to do more also, not news-based discussions like this, because I think they're fun. Sometimes you just want to talk about something. Obviously it can tie into some of the news, like for example, right, obviously a big reason why I'm bringing this up is for two reasons. So obviously, Izuka's been making the rounds, going around talking about stuff. Notably, he was saying, Takashi Izuka says we'll get another Sonic Adventure someday. He actually answered that in the Game Informer 106 quick fire questions. He was like, oh, will you ever see a Sonic Adventure? And then Izuka said someday. And then there was another article with IGN where he said, yeah, I've mentioned this in previous interviews, but I would like to continue the Sonic Adventure series. Sonic Adventure also contains smaller open spaces known as adventure fields. I've actually never heard that term before. I didn't know that. I think we've used what we've learned with those in the game as well. I haven't thought about my next game yet, but I personally think it'd be nice if we could use what we learned with this game in Sonic Adventure. Now, first of all, that's cap, because in the rapid fire thingy, he says he knows what the next game is. He probably just means he's not necessarily like knee deep into it or something. But yeah, Sonic Adventure, obviously, look, this has been a thing. This has been a conversation that's been going on forever, right? I mean, we've sat here forever talking about, hey, when's another adventure game? We want another adventure style game, because there was something very unique about it, right? And I think the aspect about it everybody really loved was the fact that you got to sort of explore the story from multiple perspectives, and you had these sort of different gameplay styles, and they weren't necessarily all perfect, they all had issues in some way, but it felt at least like the world and characters and ideas were being fleshed out, you know what I mean? And I feel like it's funny looking back, right? Because when you think of to something like Sonic Adventure 1, right? Like if you go look at it, there's something about it, even going back to it, that just it feels good, dude. There's something about it. Like if I go back here, to this gameplay, of Emerald Coast, there's something about Sonic's movement where obviously even if it's not perfect, it you feel like you have a bit of agency over it. You feel like there's a sense of joy with the sort of movement style in the world. And obviously a big part of Adventure, it's funny because Adventure 1 and 2 are sort of very different, right? Adventure 1 and 2, they share the same gameplay style, but you get the sort of open world aspect in Adventure 1. By that I mean, the Station Square, which is not even open world. I'd say it's open spots, I would even go as far as to call it open area. I'd call it more like, here's a way to go to your next destination but have it be fun. Whereas with the SA2, we played that game, and that is just pure level based. Hey, here's level, here's a cutscene, here's a level, here's a cutscene, which I think in some ways also works out. But I feel like what's really cool is knowing what potentially is going to happen with Sonic Frontiers style is it is a mix of both, right? You're gonna have this giant open hub world, it's gonna interconnect to these bosses, and it's gonna interconnect to these cyberspace levels. So in a weird way, it does sort of feel like a mix of the original, SA1 style, and of course the SA2 style going over here, with of course the iconic city escape beginning the game. But yeah, there's something. Here's the thing, right? Adventure games have always felt special, like I said, and there's a reason why they've stuck around so long in the conversation for Sonic, is they still feel very distinct and unique to themselves. And even Izuka, I think in the rapid fire interview, he said in his opinion, the best Sonic game is Sonic Adventure 2. He didn't give some plain answer where he was just he was like, I don't know, I can't pick between my favorites. He said SA2 for him is the best one. Now hopefully, obviously, he's aiming to better it, with Frontiers, which he's been saying it's their most ambitious, it's their longest. It seems like it's gonna go crazy. But yeah, man, I mean, God, the adventure games they've had such I feel like what's cool about them is they've had such a long lasting impact. People still talk about these games to this day. Even though we're at that point now where like people haven't grown up with Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, people have gone to play these games, whether it's on Steam, whether it's HD re-releases or whatever. I just feel like there's such massive parts of culture. I mean, City Escape alone, Escape from the City, Shadow's influence and popularity from this series is still massive to this day. Like, it created, I feel like that's the thing, right? I feel like Adventure 1 and 2 created like something for Sonic that people still, talk about to this day. It fleshed out a lot of these characters. That's where like, Amy became playable, like really, obviously, aside from stuff like, Sonic R, like having fully Amy playable, and you're getting these cool stories. And obviously it was like the first major Sonic story game. And it was cool about them is, like I said, even though some cutscenes would repeat themselves, you still felt like, you were setting up this grand journey where everything sort of felt interconnected between both games. I think that's what was cool about it, is it felt like this sort of grand scale story. And there's something also about the fact that the characters meet up, and you have obviously the missions with Tails, like when he's in his little rocket ship, and you have Knuckles finding the Master Emerald pieces. I love that. I love the Knuckles missions. They're so good. Obviously, I think in SA2 they take a step down in terms of the tracker itself. I love the levels actually, but I think the tracker itself is worse because it makes you find them in order instead of just glowing when you're near one, no matter what. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. But either way, I just think like this style is something I think we all want to see them explore. Obviously, Team Heroes, Team Villains, and obviously also like Sonic Heroes, right, is another style that I think some people kind of fit in adventure. I wouldn't necessarily fit it in the adventure talk, but some people consider it part of that era, even if it's not necessarily fully adventure. But I see what you mean. It's the same DNA and framework with it, and I think that's going to be very important. But yeah, also like I think logically, right, I think we could all agree the logical first step for them to take is remake these games, right? I think these games are definitely at that point now where if you want to build up to, let's say an SA3 or something, I think you have to remake. I think you got to go back to the ground up. Why did I go to the podcast scene? I think you got to go back, from the ground up and remake these games, put them in a modern engine. Because even Iizuka said in the latest interview that, hey, if he was to revisit Adventure, he wouldn't want just a simple remaster. He'd want to go in and retool it. Because, dude, I genuinely think SA1 and 2, if they were remastered and done well, they could be fucking phenomenal, man. Because like if you fix some of the old, camera issues and some of the old issues with adventure and stuff like that, dude, you could look like just a pinnacle thing. Could you imagine, like, obviously we kind of got a glimpse of it in Generations, like the Sonic and Shadow like chase, and start of their fight, but like, could you imagine getting, that cutscene where they're both starting to run and gain speed and everything, but it has like more high octane action, or the Eggman speech we all make fun of, but like, looking modern and everything. I feel like there's so much, there's so many cultural things about Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 that would just really benefit from a modern style. Maybe they could finally fix Big the Cat or cut him entirely, just make him a mini game or something. There's so much potential with SA1 and 2 remakes. I feel like they could do it almost, I don't know if they do it Crash style where it would be like, hey, here's these games in one package, or if it would be like, hey, we're doing this substantially enough that we're gonna make an SA1 remake and then we're gonna sell SA2 remake. I really wonder how they would handle it. But yeah, I think that seems like the first logical step. Go SA1, SA2 remakes, fix those games. There it is, the fucking speech. I've come to make it announcement. I can't unhear it from my end. But yeah, I think that's gonna be a big part of it. And also, like, can we, like, here's the thing, right? I feel like, and I know it's, the pipe dream, it's the joke, it's impossible or possible or whatever, depending on who you are. Obviously, the dream is Sonic Adventure 3. I think that would blow up the internet. I think that could be one of the biggest, Sonic games to ever sell. I think that would be insane, right? But I feel like they have to make sure they are in a perfect place before they do SA3, because SA3 is something fans and people, like, even not Sonic fans, like, if they are like people that have fallen off Sonic, if they hear Sonic Adventure 3, their eyes will be tuned in, and I think it's going to be such a massive deal to see, you know, that sort of future. I don't know how they do it or when they do it. They did say that they want to use what they learned from Frontiers and the Foundation, everything, to potentially one day maybe make an Adventure 3, and I think that could be incredible, because right now it seems like Frontiers is going to be just Sonic. Sonic seems to be the only playable character. I think that just makes sense, you know, focus on him, his moveset, everything. Maybe you do a DLC, you know, like a big DLC expansion that has, you know, whether it's Knuckles or Shadow or something, but at its core it's just Sonic. But yeah, a future adventure game, even if it was an Adventure 3, if they called it, you know, Adventure I don't know, Prologue or Adventure X or Adventure something, and you continue that style, basically. It would have to be that style where, you know, but I think it would take from Frontiers Foundation, which is, hey, these areas are going to be much open, they're going to be much bigger, but you will have parts of them that are explored, you know, with other characters. I think that has massive potential to be insane. I just think in general, like, it's like Frontiers is different. I think Frontiers is open zone, you know, it's more open worldy, you know, you have the hub world, the cyberspace level. It is the closest we'll have to adventure. I feel like, think about it, it's foundationally the same as SA1, right? You know, open area, you go do things, those things allow you to go into new levels, obviously, like I said, on a much grander scale for Frontiers. And I hope Frontiers is incredible enough to, you know, rival the adventure games, and that people would even want to see an adventure game in the Frontiers style. I think that could be incredible and amazing, man. But yeah, either way, I think it's kind of cool that it feels like, I don't know, I feel like within this decade, right? I feel like within this decade, you know, the 2020s, adventure is gonna come back somehow, you know, whether it's a remake, heavily different remasters, a sequel, something. I feel like it is, especially we're getting Sonic movie 3, right? And a whole new generation of people are going to get a look at, you know, what the SA2 story is. Obviously, you know, it's gonna be movie-ified and different, but like, there's gonna be a new gen of people that are going to want to consume this style of story and not necessarily go to an old game that we deal with a lot because we grew up with it and we understand the gameplay styles and mechanics and stuff, and we modded sometimes to make it better, but a lot of people would have trouble going back to that. So everybody, let me know what you think for the future of Sonic Adventure. What do you think is gonna happen? What do you want to see if they were to remake those games? And of course, yeah, thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time. Peace out. I love you.